It's midnight in 1820s London. The streets are silent, except for the soft crunch of footsteps on wet cobblestone. Two men move quickly through the fog, carrying shovels over their shoulders. They're not thieves. They're not murderers. Not yet. They stop at a freshly dug grave, and without a word, they begin to dig. Because in this world, the dead are more valuable than the living. The world before modern medicine. In the early 19th century, medicine was evolving, but blindly. Doctors didn't truly understand the human body. Surgeries were crude, diseases were mysterious, death was common. And the only way to learn was to cut open the human body. This was the age of anatomy. Medical schools were rising across Europe, especially in cities like London and Edinburgh. Students packed lecture halls, eager to learn the secrets hidden beneath skin and bone. But there was a problem, a big one. There were no bodies. The legal shortage of the dead. By law, the only bodies allowed for dissection were those of executed criminals, but executions were declining, and medical demand was exploding. One corpse could teach dozens of students, but there simply weren't enough criminals to supply the growing hunger of science. So doctors faced a choice: stop learning or find bodies elsewhere. They chose the second. The rise of the resurrectionists. They were called resurrectionists, grave robbers, but not the kind you imagine. They didn't steal jewelry. They didn't care about coffins. They wanted one thing: the body. Freshly buried corpses became a commodity, a business. The fresher the body, the higher the price. Families would bury their loved ones in the evening, and by morning, the grave would be empty, the body gone, the coffin untouched. How they did it. The process was disturbingly efficient. Resurrectionists would dig at the head of the grave, not the whole thing, just enough. They'd break open the coffin lid, loop a rope around the corpse's neck, and pull. The body would slide out, leaving everything else behind. No legal trace. Because stealing a body wasn't technically a crime. Only stealing the belongings was. So they left the clothes behind. Naked, discarded, the dead stripped of identity, reduced to pure anatomy.
Back in the city, the bodies were delivered. Quietly, secretly, through back doors of hospitals and private anatomy schools. Inside, a different kind of performance awaited. Anatomy theaters. Tiered rooms filled with students watching from above. At the center, a table, and on it, a human body, cold, waiting to be opened. The professor begins, scalpel in hand. Layer by layer, the human form is peeled back. Skin, muscle, organs. The audience watches, fascinated, not by death, but by understanding. This was education. This was progress. But beneath it all, there was something deeply wrong. When supply wasn't enough. Soon, even grave robbing wasn't enough. Demand kept rising. Bodies became harder to find. Graves were guarded. Families watched over cemeteries. Iron cages, called mort safes, were placed over graves to protect the dead. And so, the market adapted. Because when supply runs out, you create it.
The birth of murder for medicine. In 1828, in Edinburgh, two men changed everything: Burke and Hare. They didn't dig graves. They didn't steal the dead. They made them. Their method was simple and horrifying. They would lure vulnerable people, travelers, the poor, the forgotten, into their home, offer them a drink, a place to stay, And then they would suffocate them, quietly, no marks on the body, perfect for dissection, fresh, intact, valuable. They sold these bodies to a respected anatomist, a man who asked no questions because he didn't want the answers. The business of death. Each body had a price. A young, healthy corpse, worth more. A damaged or decomposed one, worth less. Human life had been reduced to market value, and the system fed itself. Doctors needed bodies. Resurrectionists supplied them. Killers created them, all under the banner of science, all justified by progress. The horror beneath progress. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Modern medicine owes part of its existence to this darkness. Every diagram, every surgical technique, every understanding of human anatomy was built on bodies that were never meant to be used this way. People who were stolen, desecrated, or worse, murdered. Not in secret rituals, but in the name of knowledge. The turning point. Eventually, the public found out. Outrage spread. Protests erupted. The idea that your loved one's body could be stolen, or that you yourself could be killed and sold, terrified society. And finally, governments acted. In 1832, the Anatomy Act was passed in Britain. It allowed doctors to legally use unclaimed bodies, often from workhouses and hospitals. It ended grave robbing, mostly. But it created a new ethical problem. Now the poor became the primary source of bodies. Even in death, inequality remained. Philosophical ending. So here's the question. Was it worth it? The knowledge gained from these bodies has saved millions of lives. You could argue that without them, modern medicine wouldn't exist. But at what cost? Because progress is rarely clean. It's built on decisions, compromises, sometimes horrors. And the next time you see a medical diagram,